Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. My name is Professor Dr. Rizwan Jamil Qureshi and I am covering Scrum today inshallah. But before I would like to discuss one of the disadvantages I forgot to cover about XP, that XP is not suitable for medium to large projects. The reason is that it is designed for small projects and we don't have strong architecture to evolve it for that is the requirement for medium and large projects, that you have stable architecture and you have strong architecture, because our focus is more on coding and less is on documentation. And another thing, I forgot to discuss one practice of XP, that is continuous integration. That one pair, when once they finish their code, or a programmer as he finished his code, after testing he will integrate into configuration management tool. So that is the things I forgot. And now I am covering Scrum. Scrum is the one of the most widely used methodologies from the last 10 years. After 2010 to 20 now, Scrum is the most widely practiced agile methodology, and it is most widely practiced methodology that is integrated with other methodologies like XP, like Lean, like Crystal, like FDD. Because XP is good in engineering practices, but XP is not good in management practices. Whereas, in contrast to that, Scrum is more strong and has very strong management practices. So before I discuss the methodology of Scrum, I would like to discuss the 5 values of Scrum that make it so helpful for the teams, that companies like Yahoo, Microsoft, they and the most of the software companies, they are switched from XP to Scrum, or they are integrating Scrum with XP. Or with some traditional methodologies, even some of the practices of Scrum are used because it has very strong management practices. There are 5 values of Scrum. First value, that deliver every sprint or demo. Whether sprint is ready or it's at the demo level, you have to deliver to take feedback from the customer. So you have to release often, and as you release, customer will give you feedback, you have confidence, you have success, and that's very good for the team in terms of motivational, or in terms of uh, technically they feel strong and they will implement the project successfully. So you have continuous feedback and you have continuous requirements from the customer, very clear requirements from the customer. In this way, clarity is there, because customer will use it, and as he will use it or see the prototype or demo, he will give you feedback to have to develop software as per customer requirements. Then the second value, the team should be cross-functional. That programmer can work as database designer, or database designer can work as a tester, tester can work as a programmer. So let the team decides how they will accomplish, what is the role they want to play. Let them handle. Product owner or project manager will not interfere how they are going to develop the sprint. We call release as sprint in Scrum. That is the value number 2. The value number 3, you have daily meetings. This is nothing new. We have daily meetings in all software companies, even non IT sector, production, construction, they have meetings, even offices, they have meetings. But this meeting is different than those meetings. Inspect daily. Like smoke testing, you have to test your software daily. So in order to have a bug, identify bugs early, and you can team can fix it early. So you have to test it on daily basis. That is the during the daily meeting you will do that. And then the value number 4, Scrum Master is there. Scrum Master is like a backup guy. Scrum Master is like a liquid or like a lubricant for the team. Any team member has some problem, he is there to help him, and he is called as chief impediment remover. Any problem of the team in terms of technical, logical requirements, resources, meetings, coordinations, he is there to help them. Role number 5 is value number 5 is the product owner. Project manager has double role. He is a representative of customer as well as he is a member of team. But product owner will prioritize the user stories. In XP, we call the customer to prioritize the user stories, to order the user stories. But in Scrum, product owner will do this job, and he will give the sequence to the team in what sequence they have to develop. And then you have three main roles we identify from these values. The first role is the Scrum team. Second role is the Scrum master. Third role is the product owner. So these are the three main entities of Scrum which are going to develop a software, and which are going to implement the Scrum values and the Scrum philosophy. We have SDLC of Scrum methodology. I found several methodologies in different books, in different sources, but the best one which I like is from the Alistair Cockburn lectures. It was introduced by Ken Schwaber, who introduced Scrum. It has four phases. We have plan, build, test, review. So plan is doing analysis, design. In build, we are doing coding, and then we have the testing, and at the third phase, and then we have review, like the verification from the customer about the process or about the software. So we have plan one, build one, test one, review one, sprint one. Then sprint 2, plan 2, build 2, test 2, review 2. Sprint 2 is there. Plan 3, build 3, test 3, review 3, and sprint 3 is there. Now it's up to the team. They want to deliver one sprint as a release, or more than one sprints, like 2 sprints or 3 sprints in one release. It's up to the team, or it's up to the customer what he wants. So this is about the SDLC. Then Scrum has a flow which is different than the other methodologies. We have product owner, which will provide product backlog to the team. Product backlog is the list of ordered user stories, user requirements. And then product owner will provide this, let the team decide during a sprint planning meeting. So the second flow is activity is sprint planning meeting, in which team member will decide which of the stories they will pick to develop. For example, they will pick 1 story, 2 story, 3 stories. The release cycle is 3 to 4 weeks in Scrum. In XP, it's 2 to 3 weeks. But in Scrum, we have 3 to 4 week release cycle. 4 weeks release cycle is there. So they can pick 2 stories, or they can pick 3 stories, as they know how they are going to deliver or how much time they need to develop them in one release, one iteration. And then you have sprint backlog. Sprint backlog is the number of stories they are going to deal. The team will deal. And then we have sprint. Sprint is ready. We have built it. Then you have testing. Sprint shippable product, unit testing, integration testing, system testing. It's ready to ship for alpha and the beta. So you have alpha testing, beta testing, and it's ready to deploy at the customer side. But before you deploy, we have sprint review meeting. In the sprint review meeting, product owner is there, because now it's ready to deploy. He will check any missing function, any logic, any implementation issue, because he is there as a representative of customer, and he is responsible to deploy at the customer side. So then he will make sure that there is no bug in that, and it is stable, it's reliable, and it has those functions which are required by the customer. Then it's deployed. Then you have sprint retrospective meeting. Sprint retrospective meeting is the last activity of Scrum. In the sprint retrospective meeting, whole team will sit together to learn from their mistakes. It is similar to post-mortem analysis of traditional methodologies, or we have called formal technical review. So you review the entire process. In the sprint review, normally mixed sprint review and sprint retrospective. Sprint review meeting is for the current sprint. To review it, that if there is something missing, you can go back and you can fix to before you deploy. But sprint retrospective is after the release, after the delivery. You are doing this meeting for the next cycle to learn from your mistakes, to check previously any extra activity, any extra process, any extra team member there is present, so you can remove it and you can have the optimize your process to learn from your mistakes, and you decide the improvement actions that you are going to deploy in the next sprint. That is about the Scrum flow diagram. Then you have core Scrum and you have barnacles. Core Scrum are the five Scrum values, whereas barnacles are the external shell. For example, you want to use burn down chart. Burn down chart is the displaying technique used by the Scrum. Or you want to use Kanban, that is taken from Lean. You want to invite product owner in sprint planning meeting or not, it's up to the team. You want to invite him in daily meeting, it's up to the team. Then you have to answer 3 questions at the start of each daily meeting. What went wrong yesterday? How to make it correct? What are the tasks of the today's today tasks you want to implement? So this is something you need to answer in every daily meeting. And then you have burn down chart, which is based on you have horizontal axis and you have vertical axis. Horizontal axis is the number of days, and vertical axis is the number of hours. So how much time you need to complete a sprint in terms of story point. So that's about the Scrum. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.